I've always said there is a special kind of loneliness that comes with work in the night shift. As a tow truck driver, the roads are empty, the towns are asleep, and every call feels like it pulls you into someone else's nightmare. Most people think my job is simple hook. A broken car, drag it somewhere safe, get paid, go home. But the truth is, the night shift is a different world. You see things no one else sees. You find yourself on abandoned highways where streetlights flicker out one by one as you pass, or on dirt back roads where your headlights catch eyes staring from the tree-line eyes to high off the ground, to belong to any animal you recognize. And sometimes, you get a call that makes you wonder if you're rescuing a stranded driver, or disturbing something that doesn't belong in this world anymore. That's what happened to me on the night that nearly ended everything. The night that taught me the real horror of being a tow truck driver on the night shift ISNT. About accidents or breakdowns. It's about being alone with forces that feed on that loneliness. Entities that wait on forgotten roads for someone foolish enough to stop. The dispatcher's voice that night sounded normal, almost bored. Vehicle reported on Old Mill Road. No driver, Shen, probably abandoned. Just haul it in. I remember thinking it was easy money. Just another old car left by some drunk. I sipped my bitter coffee, adjusted my cap, and drove out into the endless black. But the further I went, the more I felt it like the road itself was swallowing me. The air outside my cab seemed too thick, too quiet. Even the radio, usually filled with static chatter, was silent. When I finally saw the car, I knew something wasn't right. It wasn't just broken down. It looked ancient, rusted like it had been baking under the sun for 50 years. Yet the headlights were faintly glowing as if the engine had just died minutes before. A 60s sedan, dented and scarred, sitting dead center on the road as if it had been waiting for me. My first thought was, this isn't possible. But my job is my job, and curiosity has always been a curse of mine. I stepped out into the thick night air, the gravel crunching under my boots, sounding far too loud in the silence. The woods around me felt suffocating, like they were pressing in closer with every breath. My flashlight beam shook as I approached the car, reflecting off its shattered windshield. That's when I noticed the writing deep scratches across the glass, carved in shaky letters that made my stomach turn. 3 words, "Tow me home." I froze, my mouth dry, staring at those words while the night grew heavier. That phrase had no business being there, not written like that. The letters looked fresh, like fingernails had just ripped them into the glass. My instincts screamed to turn back, climb into my truck, and drive until the gas tank ran dry. But I couldn't. I had to look. I pulled the driver's side door, expecting it to be locked, but it opened with a groan that echoed too far. The interior smelled like wet earth and iron, like a grave that had just been disturbed. The seats were torn, stained with something dark that wasn't just age. And on the dashboard, the clock blinked. The car was dead, completely lifeless. But that cracked little clock was flashing 3:33 over and over again. My breath caught as I leaned closer, and that's when I heard the sound of something moving behind me. Slow footsteps on the gravel. I spun, flashlight shaking. But the road was empty. Empty except for the pale outline of a figure standing just beyond the glow of my headlights. At first, it was blurry, like smoke rising off the asphalt. But the longer I stared, the clearer it became. A man, or something shaped like one. Thin and unnatural, its face stretched and featureless. "Who's watching?" I whispered out. "You need help?" My voice cracked. No answer, just the sound of the car door behind me slamming shut on its own. My flashlight flickered, and the figure was closer so. Closer I could hear a faint rasp, like it was breathing through broken glass. I ran back to my truck, chains clattering in my hands, forcing myself to hook the rusted car as fast as I could. Every second felt wrong, like invisible hands were pushing me down, whispering in words I couldn't understand. The figure kept shifting. One moment 10 feet away, the next right at the edge of my vision. I locked myself into the cab, slammed the doors, and started the engine. The truck roared to life, headlights slicing through the suffocating dark, and I pulled forward, dragging the car behind me. Relief surged for half a second, until I looked in the rearview mirror. The figure wasn't on the road anymore. It was sitting inside the car I was towing. In the back seat, its head tilted too far to one side, empty sockets fixed directly on me. My chest tightened. I wanted to stop, to unhitch the car and leave it there. But the road ahead seemed endless, stretching into a black void that swallowed my beams. I pressed harder on the gas, my pulse pounding, every nerve screaming. The radio crackled alive with static, a whisper threading through it. My own name repeated again and again. Come home. Tow me home. I nearly lost control of the wheel, and then the chains holding the car rattled violently, pulling back against the truck, like the thing inside wanted to drag me off the road. Metal screeched, the tires screamed, and I felt the truck fishtail, the car swaying like it was alive. My vision blurred, tears stinging my eyes, and when I blinked, the figure was no longer in the car. It was in my passenger seat, inches from May. Its mouth opened wider than any human mouth should, stretching across its pale face, releasing a sound that wasn't a scream but 1,000 whispers colliding. My truck spun. I don't remember the crash, just the blinding light, the sound of metal folding, and the sudden silence that followed. When you woke up, the world was wrong. My truck was parked neatly in my driveway, not wrecked, not even scratched. The sun was just rising, the birds chirping, as if nothing had happened at all. But I knew it wasn't a dream. My clothes smelled of dirt and rust, my boots still wet from the road, and on the passenger seat lay a folded piece of paper. My hand shook as I opened it, and my stomach dropped when I read the words written in smeared ink. Tow me home. I tried to tell myself I imagined it, that exhaustion had finally pushed me over the edge, but the truth clung to me like a shadow. The next night, when I climbed into the truck again, I found the odometer reset. 2:00, and the clock blinking 3:33. My dispatchers swore no one had called me out to Old Mill Road, no report of a broken car, no tow request filed. That car didn't exist in any database, but I can still feel the weight of its chains pulling at me. Sometimes, when I'm on the highway and the night grows still, I see headlights in the rearview mirror. Always the same faded glow, always keeping pace, no matter how fast I drive. And when I stop, there's nothing there. I've started to avoid certain roads, but the truth is, I think it's following me now. I think I towed it home, and now it lives with me. Sometimes I hear footsteps outside my window at night, the gravel crunching slowly, deliberately, like someone pacing in circles around the house. Sometimes I hear the chain rattling when no truck should be hooked. And sometimes, just before I drift to sleep, I hear the whisper again, as if it's inside my head now. Tow me home. So when people ask me about my job, I tell them the truth. The horror of being a tow truck driver on the night shift isn't just the wrecks or the endless hours. It's the isolation that opens a door for things you don't understand. It's the silence that lets something whisper your name. It's the moments where you can tell if the road is empty, or if you're being followed by something that wants more than just a ride. I've lived this nightmare, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone, but maybe you'll understand it better now. If you ever see a rusted car on a deserted road, headlights dim but glowing, don't stop. Don't look. And whatever you do, don't read the windshield. Because if you do, you might see the same words I did. And once you've seen them, once you've heard the chains, it's already too late. You've already agreed to finish the ride. I'll leave you with this warning. Never underestimate the night shift, because on those dark roads, you're not alone, no matter how empty it seems. Something is always waiting, and when it finds you, it won't let go. It will follow you back, into your home, into your dreams, until all that's left of you is another stranded vehicle on another endless road. If you think you can handle more, if you think you're brave enough to take another ride into the dark, then I dare you don't look away. Don't turn off the lights, and click to the next story, waiting here. But note these. The next one doesn't just want to be told, it wants to take you with it.